How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Curtis Zone, where, of course, I always ask that if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to share it, share this with everyone else. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Today we're giving an episode on whose side were you on, Batman or Superman in the Injustice series. The Injustice video games were one of the most popular video games that DC has ever produced, and so we are talking about them right now. Let's get started with this episode, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. But before we get started, news, ladies and gentlemen. The first piece of news from the world of Warner Brothers, James Gunn has announced that all projects that have been announced at the last DC Expo are currently in development. Every single one of them currently in development. Nothing is being held back at all. Everything is currently in development, and we cannot wait for it nonetheless. The second piece of news from the live-action Voltron, they have been rumored to have found their main villain for the upcoming live-action Voltron movie, and because the movie's gonna have a large cast, they need to develop a really great story, so they need a monster villain for it. Yes, this is the actual words that I have read from reading the news report. The final piece of news is this: a live-action Digimon is currently in talks with a lot of different creators such as Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, and a lot of different people who are all decided that they will try and make a live-action Digimon. They were going to do it a long time ago with Kristen Stewart, but there was a scheduling conflict and a lot of things got shut down. Now here's how I'm going to do this episode. I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of the story of Injustice, then I'm going to tell you all the characters that are on different sides of Injustice, and then I'm going to tell you whose side I was on in the Injustice series. But if you guys want to talk about whose side you were on in Injustice, just put it in the comment section, alright? Alright? We love it when you do that. Quick little rundown of the story. Here's the thing. Superman had killed Lois Lane by accident after he was brainwashed into thinking that Lois Lane was Doomsday. And because of that, Superman detonated a bomb that nuked Metropolis. The headlines read, "Metropolis destroyed, millions dead." And this was all done but at the hands of the Joker. The Joker who tricked Superman into thinking that he was fighting Doomsday when really he was killing his own wife and his unborn child. This caused Superman to go insane, my friends. And by insane, I mean the man took over all police everywhere, and he became known as King Superman. And during this time, Superman would subjugate the entire planet, and basically he would kill anybody that would commit crimes. He eliminated all crime everywhere. A lot of people would join his side, some out of loyalty, some out of fear. This is when Batman was all like this. He was all like, nah, yo, this ain't how we do this. And so he would attempt to stop Superman from going insane and killing all these people, but he was too late. And so this would cause a war between Batman and Superman and basically tearing the Justice League apart. Characters who are on Superman's side are as follows. You first have Wonder Woman, who developed a relationship with Superman in order to help him grieve. However, she stresses that she does not want to replace Lois Lane. She just wants for him to have companionship. And because of this, Superman agreed. The next character that's on Superman's side is Black Adam. Teth Adam, aka Black Adam, he was on Superman's side and he started to follow him because he enjoyed Superman's regime. And so he decided to fight alongside of him. However, he was also fighting alongside Billy Batson, aka Shazam. And Shazam would be killed by Superman in the first Injustice game. The next character that's on Superman's side is Hawkgirl. The reason why Hawkgirl is on Superman's side because during the time of the Metropolis bombing, Hawkman was killed. Her companion, her lover, he was killed. And so she would join Superman's side and help him to eliminate all crime. The next character that was a part of Superman's regime is Cyborg. Cyborg really joined because because during the Metropolis bombing, most of the Titans were killed. So he and Raven joined Superman's side. However, Raven mostly followed Superman out of fear because Superman was protecting her from Trigon. At least that's from what I had heard. Remember I said that some of them followed Superman out of fear, and that person is known as Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan donned a yellow power ring and became one of Superman's lieutenants, and because he followed him out of fear. He was afraid of losing more people, and so he donned a yellow power ring. The next character we're going to talk about that was part of Superman's regime is Damian Wayne, aka the Nightwing. However, he only became Nightwing after he killed Dick Grayson. For those of you who do not know, Damian Wayne was raised by the League of Assassins to be the perfect assassin. And when he killed Dick Grayson and took over his suit, that's when Bruce Wayne stopped treating him as a son and started treating him as an enemy. The final character we're going to talk about that was part of Superman's regime is none other than the Flash. However, the Flash didn't stay a part of Superman's regime for long, and after Billy Batson's death, the Flash would defect from Superman and join Batman, along with Batman's other world companions who he brought over from a parallel universe. I thought that was pretty cool. Those who were part of Batman's side were as follows. The first being Hal Jordan, aka the Green Lantern. At first, he had to charge his ring, but he was also pretty tough. He had to fight Raven and Cyborg and Deathstroke in order to charge his ring. I liked it a lot. The next person who was a part of Batman's side was Green Arrow. The reason why Green Arrow was a part of this is because Batman needed his help in order to unlock a vault with a kryptonite weapon to stop Superman. However, the Green Arrow of this Batman's universe was killed while trying to stop Superman from killing Lois Lane. So Batman brought this version of Green Arrow over to his universe in order to help him with this new technology. I thought it was pretty cool. The next person who's a part of Batman's side is Deathstroke. The reason being because Deathstroke is loyal to those who pay him. However, Superman was not going to pay him a dime. The guy was literally going to kill him. So Batman made him an offer, help him in exchange for his freedom and in exchange for a lot of money. And so, the rest is history. The next person we're going to talk about is Lex Luthor. However, Lex Luthor was working undercover with Catwoman in order to defend against Superman. And so Superman would kill him after finding out that Lex Luthor was trying to kill him with a kryptonite weapon that was created by Batman. I thought that was pretty impressive. Now, there are a lot of characters I could talk about who were part of Injustice, Injustice 2, that were either story characters or DLCs, but it was going to take forever, and I don't want to be taking forever. So, instead, I'm going to tell you guys whose side I was on. Here's the thing. I was on both of their sides, okay? Here's the thing, and here's the reason why. First, I think that Superman was right. Joker should have been killed a long time ago. He should have been killed after he killed Tim Drake and Jason Todd. And after he killed all these people, my friends. Because the Joker is not the guy that you can just put in a cast for 6 months and just let it go. Alright, he's a super criminal and a serial murderer. However, Batman was also right because, here's the thing, there are fates worse than death, alright? Death is the easy way out for a guy like the Joker. So, yeah. In this instance, I was on both their sides. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Curtis Zone. I, of course, your amazing host, Dylan J. Curtis. Thank you for hitting that like and subscribe button. And then we'll be back with more content soon, as you can see down there. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for any episode, period, put it in the comment section down below. I'll get back to you people. Okay? I love you all. I will see you soon.